Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. Welcome to the second game of this playoff match for the Open League. We have Noble Foxes up against Amish Paradise. I'm Zethno. I'm here with Danny Music. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. Looking forward to seeing some Ganons going down. So this is game 2 of this series. Amish Paradise had taken the first one with Jossum Sauce getting a win over Obscure Lifeform, and Noble Foxes are looking to even the score. Amish Paradise is looking to pull ahead. This is a casual boots race, so the players will start with the boots, we'll start with the sword, we'll go through the standard sequence of escaping Hyrule Castle very quickly, and collecting 7 crystals and defeating Ganon.
Yeah, the runners should be underway soon. And there we go.
And we're off.
Since we do have the open start, we're going to be seeing basically the same thing from both runners for the first little while. If you were running right now, what would you want to see in this escape sequence?
I always like seeing Flute. Just getting around the Flute is the second most important item to get around, and is super helpful to have early. Getting bombs. Getting 10 arrows is better than not having 10 arrows, but not exactly the droids that they're looking for.
You're right, the bombs would be nice too, because, hey, speaking of, just because there are too many bombable walls in the early game, and if you don't find some bombs somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that problem is slightly mitigated with this format, just because you can bonk into the wall that's at the end of the Hyrule Castle escape sequence, and also you can bonk into the rocks that are north of Kakariko next to the Fortune Teller's hut in order to get bombs that way. But still, not having to grind for bombs is always preferable to grinding for bombs.
Yeah, theoretically, I guess it could give a player an advantage if they know where those bomb drops are, but as you said, there's so many bomb drop locations with the boots that it's not going to, I don't think, going to be a really big advantage for either of our players here.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing some very nice spinning kills on those guards going down into this section with Zelda's cell. It's also interesting looking at the early game. If you find any progression items, it can really dictate the course of where you decide to route right after doing all the early game checks.
Yeah, I'd love for them to get some
Speaking of which,
access to go places to get some different routing, so we get the Moon Pearl. That's definitely one of those items I'd like to see for that.
Yep, one of 3 items required for Dark World access. Lets you do basically anything in the Dark World other than check Pyramid Ledge, and certainly something that our runners will be excited to find.
Yeah, so I'm definitely hoping they find the mitts soon, or the gloves at least. Then we can see if they get the mitts or the hammer. But...
It looked like the green guard dropped a red rupee on HayfieldBay's side. Getting money is often nice to have early game, because you still need to do the Bottle Merchant check and the Zora check. Kind of loses its usefulness as the run goes on, but still good to know that that drop is a thing.
Yeah, they didn't pick up the 20 though.
They did not.
Just saving some time, I guess, figuring they'll get the money somewhere else. That'll feel a little bad if they manage to do the water checks and the Zora checks with anywhere less than 20 rupees away from the 500 they need. So it looks like, apart from the Moon Pearl, they really haven't found anything in this escape. So I think either way, they're going to do their Kakariko checks first because of just the drastic amount of locations.
Yep. And the other nice thing about the casual boots nature of the casual boots seed is being able to check bonk rocks on your way to the Lost Woods. We might also see an Aghanim's Ledge check. Having the boots means that it doesn't take too long, and having the boots also means that you can get to the item as soon as you can beat Aghanim, rather than having to wait for the boots in order to get the item that's on Aga Ledge.
Definitely makes sense to have that information so that they're not wondering if they're going to need to do an Aga play. They already have a sword, they already have boots, as you said. It starts getting in your mind once you find that lamp and at least a sword or cape. So I guess that's the other thing to point out here. The runners do have the lamp cone for the escape sequence, but they won't have it as soon as they get out of here in any dark rooms.
Yep, that's correct. Just a lot of love, and by a lot of love, I mean 3/4 love in the bombable wall in Escape.
That's gotta feel bad because it didn't even give them a heart.
Yep, it's like, come on. You came so close, game. They're still on 3 hearts. But they're on the highest 3 hearts possible that still rounds down. Alright, both runners coming out of the escape sequence with about 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Very nice time. Normally for escape, if you can get under 6 minutes, it's good. Obviously, boots helps bolster your time a bit, but still nice to see.
Yeah, boots giving them a significant amount of speed in some of these areas. Everyone will be able to see now as they go through the overworld how much boots really does help. And there's another piece of heart. Well, at least they got the full heart.
Well, yep, now the heart container is complete.
That was a lot of work for a heart.
Okay, we are seeing the tier 2 tree pole, just hearts. And it looks like we're also going to be seeing an Aga Ledge check. Hoarder Crab with the red rupees. Well, that solves some of the money worries.
Yeah, that's definitely nice. They have all the money they need for the absolute early game for their bottle vendor. But I'm sure they'll still appreciate getting rupees right up until they have enough to complete all of their other required. Whoa, excuse me, what was that? Oh,
Yep, just a red rupee, which incidentally also solves their Aga worries. At least partially.
Well,
at least partially.
Their Dark World access is on Pyramid Ledge. It's not a common occurrence, but it could happen. Yeah, Hayfield choosing to pick up the 50 rupees. And zeronicks doing the wow, there's some sync here. As I say, they're slightly different paths.
Hayfield picked up some extra rupees from that second Hoarder Crab that's in the Lost Woods area, and had a slightly faster escape, but other than that, that seems to be the only difference.
Yeah, Hayfield just coming up with an extra about 200 rupees, but unless they make an early Zora play, that's not going to really do anything.
Zeronicks grabbing the bomb that is to the left of the Fortune Teller's hut. Not super essential because they have 6 already, but having extra bombs is certainly nice for the early game.
Especially with that sword, too, because they know they're not going to have to do something like bomb hitting Boulder. And there's a glove.
Yep.
And the cape.
Glove and cape. Well, we are a lamp away from Aghanim access, and we are also a second glove or a hammer away from non-Aghanim Dark World access.
I think the runners are going to be a lot happier with a ladder.
Yep.
Getting a hammer or a glove.
That is the biggest hot and cold blinds hut that I've ever seen. The well with 300 rupees. That is now enough money for both Bottle Merchant and King Zora.
On Hayfield side, but zeronicks is just a little bit short.
Very, very close.
I know he'll make it up soon. 8 rupees is not a lot to find. With getting the bottle is very nice though, because now they can do sick hit while they're in here, and they won't have to come back.
Getting the blue mail is a pretty worthwhile purchase as well for that Bottle Merchant. And we're seeing 300 rupees in Chicken Hut. So much money so early.
Oh yeah. You gotta wonder, now they're thinking, well, I probably shouldn't have stopped for those rupee crabs in hindsight. It was the right play at the... Oh, there's the lamp.
Oh boy.
I was just saying that it was the right play in the moment, because you don't know that you're going to get all this money in a game, and many seats are not this kind with cash, but... So now, with a lamp, with a lamp, a sword, and a cape, do you start thinking, oh, I really hope my Dark Room progression isn't on Pyramid?
The very aggressive play would be to do Aghanim before doing some of these early checks. That being said, I probably would not do that right away, but it's definitely something that's going to be on these runners' minds.
Ooh, neither. They're gonna do race game today. Yeah. I agree. I don't think it's something that I would want to do early. I don't think it's something the runners are going to do. If someone does it and it's not required, it's going to lose them a lot of time. And odds are it's probably not required. But
right. Because it is the second glove or the hammer that is missing, that means that there are 2 outs to not having to do Aghanim, whereas if it would be something like the Moon Pearl that's missing, then there's only 1 out. And you don't even need the Moon Pearl to do Aga, I guess. Alright, zeronicks opting to check the shovel spot right away. We'll see if that ends up being important.
I like that play. You're kind of in the area. That way you don't have to come all the way back. Oh!
Well, we're getting a fetch quest for another fetch quest.
Oh boy.
How fetching?
Yeah.
Well, having the mushroom now rather than later is somewhat an advantage, because you might be able to route getting in the mushroom when you do the fake flippers checks, since that's in an area.
A mirror.
Hayfield has found the mirror.
That doesn't particularly help right at this moment, but he's definitely happy to have it.
Yeah. It unlocks Tower of Hera right now. And the flute is a great pickup as well.
Yeah, I guess that Tower of Hera gives them one more thing they can do before they have to start thinking about Agam.
Yep. And Hayfield has also found the hookshot.
Oh, there's a lot up there on Death Mountain for them with the lamp, hookshot, and mirror. Yeah. They're definitely going up before doing anything too risky. Ooh, Hayfield's gonna set up the water walk here. With the boots, allowing them to walk on water is a lot faster than fake flippering.
Zeronicks opting to check Agina. Just a bow on Desert Ledge. We see Lake Hylia Island on Hayfield's side. Probably don't want to stop for that bloomerang. Hayfield has to be a little careful with the bomb count. Only 1 bomb left.
That's what we were discussing earlier. They had a lot of bombs, but the early bombs are... There's a lot of places to bomb. piece of heart in Gina, and just arrows from the hobo.
Yeah, even in Mini Moldarm Cave, just using the bombs is such an efficient way of killing the Mini Moldarms that it's valuable. And
where is zeronicks?
zeronicks is activating the flute. Okay. Yeah, the flute was in the dam area.
Oh, I missed that. On both runners. I guess both times I was looking at the other player. We'll see what's in Waterfall Fairy here. Nope.
Even more money.
Hayfield doing a quick check to see what was in his bottles, to see if he needed to throw it in or not.
Just a heart piece on the ledge.
Not going to be seeing that.
And let's see what the game really wanted us to have all that money to get is.
Piece of heart?
Well,
yeah.
The most expensive piece of heart in Hyrule.
And there's also one just sitting out there on the ledge. I'd rather take the free one than the 500 rupee one, wouldn't you?
Yep, it looks like these runners don't want to take either one.
What's interesting, they do have a male upgrade already, and a decent number of hearts. So there are a lot of full hearts left in the game that they'll probably pick up over time, and they're figuring they're okay for the time being.
Mm-hmm. Hayfield digging up that mushroom. Looks like each of the runners is covering the other one's tracks. It'll be interesting. I think, given that you find the hookshot, you still go Death Mountain earlier, but hookshot makes both Death Mountain much better, as well as making Aghanim better. So, can be a double-edged sword. It means that the second glove upgrade, or the hammer, can be found somewhere that's as far away as, like, Hype Cave or Thieves Town, which would be rather rude.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'll have to do all of Dark World to find that. So, with all of these overworld checks done, do you go up the mountain, or where do you think the runners might be going?
I think so. I think I would go up the mountain before doing Aga. I might do Aga before doing something like Diet Eastern, or maybe even Sahasrara's Closet. But we already did see... Or no, we did not see Sahasrara's Closet yet, I don't believe.
No, we didn't. No one's gone over the eastern side at all. So there are those 3 checks, plus a number of checks in Easter.
We did already see Agina. And I think those are pretty much the options. Aghanim, Death Mountain, Sahasrara's Closet, and Eastern.
Yeah, Death Mountain is definitely the highest item density location.
Yep. And you can even go up to Tower of Hera as well.
And they can complete all of the checks too, even if there's something in the basement because they have lamp.
Yep, that's right. And Tower of Hera is a crystal. I think Death Mountain is a good play here.
Yeah, especially with it being a crystal. Go up and clear. You have a dungeon you can already complete. Just go up and complete it.
Mm. Oh.
Only downside is that they're going to have to do a fighter sword Moldarm fight. But that's not terrible.
Could definitely be worse.
Yeah, it could be a fighter sword Vidi or Cold Stare fight up there for when we had the boss for Randomizer weeks.
Oh gosh, I wound up doing that in my spoiler week race. That was not fun. Fighter Sword Vitreous on, I think, 4 hearts. Anyway, both runners are going up the mountain. Zeronicks checks the witch, also accidentally ether medallions the witch. The witch didn't really do anything to deserve it, nor did the witch give anything worthwhile. And we're now seeing the Death Mountain plays. I think that HayfieldBay went immediately right without checking Spectacle Rock first. And I think that is solid routing. If you find the hammer here, then you can just pop in left to do Hera and then drop down to Spectacle Rock. If you don't find it, then you still have the save point that you can restart from. But instead of the hammer, Hayfield finds the bow.
So that's big because now we have the bow and we know where the other bow is. With Desert being a crystal, we're definitely going to be seeing silvers today.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely may make the players lean towards going to Desert earlier once they get the access, just to get the silvers to speed up their routing. Always nice to have a weapon that basically kills almost anything in one shot.
And just like that, Crystal Eastern is now open, but with the mirror already obtained, the runners might want to wait on doing Eastern until they can do the Palace of Darkness Eastern double play.
Yeah, so we got the Spectacle Rock checks on zeronicks side. They turned out to be nothing. Hayfield moving away from Tower Hera, deciding not to do it right now.
Doesn't want to do Hera. Hayfield is following the bow to Eastern Palace. Which makes sense. You can complete it now. It is a crystal. And these are, for the most part, Sphere 1 locations, so could be something important, could be the item that they're looking for, but once again, the second glove upgrade and the hammer can be in so many different places right now that it's looking more and more like an Agaseed the more these runners check.
Yeah, and I don't think the runners like that.
Probably holding off for a stronger weapon to fight Moldworm. That also makes sense.
Yeah, definitely could be. And they would have had to either flute back to 1 or to save and quit to get back to do that climb because he doesn't have the hammer to go up. So it was a flute or a save and quit anyways, so he just opted to go to a different dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Zeronicks doing the
Setting up the Hera pot. Also nice to have boots in order to set up Hera pot.
Oh, very much so. Makes it so much easier. But
Gets
he
it
did
first
the way
try.
you actually don't need boots.
Yeah, if you know the initial bomb position, then you don't need boots to get it, but having the boots helps line it up really easy. So far, nothing too important in either of these dungeons. Believe there's one item on the boss remaining for Hera.
That wasn't counting items, so let's go with
I think that there's one item in Eastern as well.
So here's that. Oh!
Moldorm playing defense. Moldorm pulls it to Kembe Matumbo. Not in my house! Just rupees in the vanilla big key chest.
Oh,
and nice use of the cape.
Yep. Especially in that particular location, it's a little tight in there.
Yeah.
Powder.
Magic powder. Well, Magic Powder doesn't open anything just yet, but that could potentially be a big advantage later on. Get all the fetch quest checks out of the way relatively early.
It's always nice to have too in the event that something goes wrong in a particular dungeon, just for the extra health.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite safeties. I think half magic would be my absolute favorite safety, though.
Agreed. We're going to see a much easier fight on the Armos Knights with the bow than we saw with the Fighter Sword holder.
Yep, very, very nice kill on Armos Knights there on HayfieldBay's side.
Okay. So, as Hayfield, you go up to Terran? Well, I guess after Saha's Plaza, we gotta do that first to finish up this area. I think that's all that's left apart from Aga, right?
Yeah, I think if you're Hayfield, you just go straight to Aghanim at this point. In Saha's Closet.
We have the knowledge that there's nothing up on Tower of Terra.
Right.
But he's about to go find that out for himself.
Yep, trying as hard as you can to not have to do Aga. Also, makes sense.
Oh yeah. It's great that we talked about that really early too. Just coincidentally.
Mm-hmm. Extent aside, yes, they did check Mushroom.
Well,
so the question is, if you're zeronicks, do you do Aga? Not having done Eastern Palace yet.
I don't think so. It's a completable crystal dungeon. May as well check it and find out if there's something in there.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, it helps a little bit to be able to road it in with Pod if you get it later. But the amount of time that you would waste doing Aga if it's not required is going to be a lot more than the time you would save with that mirror.
Yeah, that's fair. And it looks like we are indeed seeing the Eastern Palace play. So I think this will slightly benefit Hayfield in the end. The Crystal Dungeon that Hayfield is completing takes a little bit less time than the Crystal Dungeon that Zeronicks is completing. And after each of them are done with the others' Crystal Dungeons, then I think it likely that they'll both go into Aga.
I agree. The thing that you do have to remember about Hayfield's side is that he's got a Fighter Sword Muldorm up at the top. So that will add a little bit of time to the dungeon.
Very good point.
Whereas the bow Armos Knights is going to take a lot less time, as we saw with Hayfield. Yeah, we as viewers know that Aga is required. Neither of these runners is aware of that quite yet, but they're both going to be finding that out very soon.
That's always the fun part about watching randomizer races. The audience gets a little bit of dramatic irony from the benefit of knowing what the other person did.
Yeah. That makes those no-mode cases very interesting, where we know exactly where both go-mode items are, but neither runner knows.
And a very nice Harapot setup on Hayfield's side as well.
Yep, Zeronicks just going through Eastern. There's no real tricks here. But as you said, Tower of Hero much faster dungeon. Hayfield already on the boss. Zeronicks have quite a bit of time left to go in this dungeon. Hayfield actually having quite a good fight here.
Yep, also making good use of that cape in order to avoid Moldorm's most berserk phase.
You wouldn't think that it adds a lot of difficulty, Moldorm starting to move that much faster, but it adds a lot. Hayfield making it look very easy.
Yeah, after playing Randomizer and then coming back to no major glitches and just the vanilla game in general, having to do the Tower of Hera boss with just Fighter Sword and no magic cape, no other way of doing higher damage to Moldorm, it really makes you appreciate how difficult the vanilla game actually is.
Yeah, that Fighter Sword Moldorm fight was not intended to be as easy as we have with the higher tiers. Zero having a little bit of issue getting to that switch, but getting through it. Hayfield hasn't checked the Gina yet. Definitely makes sense to do this before going to go do Aga.
Yep. The one last-ditch attempt to not have to do Agadim.
He's probably really hoping this isn't something, because at this point, if Zero checked this a lot earlier, and he did, and this was something like Hammer, that could have really hurt Hayfield's routing. But Hayfield finds out nothing there. Going to be heading to Aga. And Zero just getting to boss here. But I think Zero has checked all those other overworld checks already.
I believe so. I think that also includes Sahasrara's Closet, so I believe we'll see Zeronicks go to Aga immediately after this. That probably puts him maybe about 2-3 minutes behind Hayfield at this point.
I don't think it's that. I don't even think it's that far. Hayfield going with the bow strats on these guards. These guards take a very long time to kill with Fighter Sword.
Yep.
Which was also the intended way to do that. No, actually, it's Master Sword. Never mind.
The game gives you options by that point, I guess.
Yeah.
Bow's certainly a nice one to use. Unfortunately, given that both of them have done Eastern Palace recently, neither of them have that many arrows, so arrow drops might actually be appreciated.
Yeah, so Hayfield went in at 3120 into the tower. So I'm just going to keep an eye on Zeronicks' side. Neither player made the risky play to do Aga early, so that'll keep them pretty close together. Yeah, looking like a minute, 15-second difference.
Yep, that is closer than I thought it was.
Zero gonna go with the
no major glitches strategy. Not quite as effective when you can't kill the guards that way with Fighter Sword, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zero only has one arrow, so he's not going to be able to use the same stress that Hayfield did. So with Hay getting close to the top of the tower, how many blue balls do you think Aga's going to have?
Oh, man. Don't let me be the one to predict this, because I recently had one that had 10 blue balls, and that was not fun.
So let's ask chat. Chat, tell us, how many blue balls do you think?
Ooh, I like the 0 pick.
Yeah, 0 is possible. So the first ball will always be good, and then the next 3 have a chance to be a blue ball, or a blue ball where no damage can be done, and then the next hit is lightning, and then the cycle repeats for any of our newer viewers. So this is guaranteed, and the next few could be good or bad. I don't really say 4, but that's not a good sign. Let's see. Still good. Okay. That first hit being a blue ball was a little scary, but
So the next question is, where is that hammer and where is that other glove upgrade, given that the majority of the dark overworld and most locations in most of the dungeons are available as well?
yeah, I think that was 2 blue balls, and yeah, those items can be absolutely anywhere at this point, except in GT.
Two blue balls is a respectable amount. I think that's about the averaged expected value of blue balls.
There's our check. Pod and Turtle Rock are pendants, Mire and Swamp are our red crystals today.
Yep, and the green pendant is Thieves Town.
Yeah, we had that marked already. I think at least one of the runners decided to talk to Saha. Just to get a little more information there. But
Gotcha.
kind of surprised they did, because it takes a few seconds. That chat box feels like it takes forever in a race.
Want to get something for free? No, I want you to shut up and tell me where it is. Hayfield immediately going to Palace of Darkness. They can clear... Hayfield can clear most of this because of having the hammer, but can't quite beat the boss yet. But given that the prize of the dungeon is a pendant, that is probably okay.
That shield, not what Hayfield's looking for.
And a bit low of arrows going into this, but 5 is still plenty for the mimics in this coming room, and there are also arrows in the pot, so shouldn't have too many issues with that.
Now, what if the hammer's in this dungeon? Nice little vanilla location.
Okay. Well, let's see if zeronicks decides to follow suit. Having done Aga, zeronicks does not. Looks to be going up north. Will this be a catfish check, or will this be a west dark world? This will be a catfish check.
There's a play. If there's an important item on catfish, this could give Zero a significant advantage over Hayfield. Assuming Hayfield doesn't check it, although with the way that they have to access the rest of the Dark World, I would be surprised if Hayfield didn't check this before going to West Dark World. I mean, unless he finds something important here in Pod.
Yeah, it's an annoying location, but it really doesn't get any closer, so given that you're still looking for a lot of stuff, now is not a bad time to do it. Unfortunately, catfish does not pay off for zeronicks.
Just 20. Oh, yeah, actually, Pod is a pendant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a play that makes sense. You can get pretty much everything except for the boss, but given that the prize is a pendant, not being able to get the boss means that you're only missing out on one item maximum, plus 1/3 of the pedestal item if you look at it that way.
Yeah. And looking at the crystal dungeons, we actually can't complete one right now.
We can complete Thieves Town, but we can't full clear it.
That's pendant.
Oh, sorry, you're right. My bad.
It's our crystals remaining are Swamp, Skullwoods, Ice Palace, and Mire. 2 of those requiring a fire damage source. One of them actually needing the fire rod. The fire rod would give us 2 dungeons to finish. Actually, no, 1 because we still need mitts for Ice Palace. There are a lot of items missing still.
Lots to do and a lot missing. So far, it doesn't look like any of these initial plays are panning out.
No.
And Hayfield just saves and quit right away.
Yeah, with the mirror and having killed Aga, a save and quit in the Dark World will start on the pyramid.
Yeah, definitely a faster way to get back to the Dark Overworld.
So maybe our Village of Outcasts will have something. And another pendant dungeon.
Hayfield also making the play to Catfish. Zeronicks is checking Bumper Cave, it looks like.
Yeah, they have
which
a cave.
Could get with the cape. They already know that Aga Ledge is nothing, despite having done Aga for our Dark World access. And Zeronicks heading right away into Skull Woods. Or... nope,
Maybe?
heading right away into... hesitating, but then heading right away into Skull Woods.
So from a comment in chat, it seems that King Helmosaur actually has a item. So there's actually an extra item in the back of Pod that has been stranded. So Hayfield now doing the checks that Zero just did.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. They're right along the way. They don't get any closer. And Zeronicks finds the French vanilla fire rod.
Fire rod in Skull Woods. Ooh, game. Not nice. Zero probably very happy that he went up here. So the question is, will Hayfield go up to Skull Woods, or will he go down to Village of Outcasts?
Yeah, not only did Zero find the fire rod, but Zero found it in the first chest that he looked at in Skull Woods. The vanilla big key chest. Opting to go for the bridge chest before taking on the boss for that second item. Turns out just to be a key.
Well, considering he hasn't done the rest of this dungeon, it's a good check to make. He's probably going to want to make it one way or the other.
Yeah, I would generally recommend beating the boss first, given that there's only one item, because best case scenario, you just find the second item on the boss and then don't have to do any of the rest of the dungeon. But it's such a quick thing, and it's such a niche case that doing it in the order that Zeronicks did doesn't use up that much time.
Oh, Hayfield going up.
Hayfield also going into Skull Woods.
Yep.
So they're going to find that fire rod very shortly afterward.
Keeping the sync going. So, I think in Pod, the only thing that Hayfield found of any importance is the Cane of Burna, I believe.
Which
So
they already do have an invulnerability item for Spike Cave.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually important to them, but it's just in terms of the items that they found. The thing here is, if Zero doesn't make that check, they could pick up a lot of time. And a very nice fighter sword fight from Zero.
Absolutely. Fighter sword means that you have to deal a lot more with the Moth's shenanigans and a lot more with the Spike Floor's shenanigans. So, very good kill on their side. And Hayfield also grabbing that fire rod and immediately going to fry that Moth.
I think they have a blue potion, so Zero, I guess, decided not to use that to fire rod. Comfortable with their fighter sword strats. That's still a very impressive fight either way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there is still one item left to find that's somewhere on the left side. Zero following that big key first. Just the map.
Yep.
And Hayfield about to take on Mothula.
There's the item, piece of heart. This game is making our runners work for their pieces of heart today.
500 rupees for the piece of heart.
Hayfield going with the blue goo strategy, saying I'm just going to use fire rod.
That was some really nice patterns there.
This fight is just so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Moth not taking damage in a lot of cases when over spikes or hitting spikes just makes it very hard to know when you're actually doing damage.
And with that, Hayfield also grabs the crystal and will likely go into Village of Outcasts, as is Zeronicks right now. So far, Zeronicks has checked chess game for a full heart container, and now 10 arrows in the brewery. The 10 arrows is actually somewhat helpful, given that their arrow count isn't exactly high right now. Going into Thieves Town without checking the C-shape house. Or maybe they did and I missed that.
I was watching Hayfield screen, so I didn't see it either. They're doing a lot of pendant dungeon checks here.
Oh. It was red armor, got it.
Oh. That's very nice for the runners. With 12 hearts on Zero's side and red armor, he's not going to be worried about health for the rest of the game.
Just gotta be worried about counting to 4 in this dungeon. Because without the hammer, they won't be able to check the big chest. The Master Sword, however, is very appreciated.
Zero checking the correct pendant dungeon. That helps a lot. So this is a green pendant, so there is one additional item locked behind this dungeon. So we're looking still for Mitts. I was going to say Fire Rod, but Mitts, Samaria, and Hammer, correct?
Yep. As well as potentially whichever medallion is needed to get into Misery Mire.
Yeah. So we still have a lot of items to be looking for here.
Alright, we'll see if Hayfield wants to go into Thieves Town. They opened Thieves Town. I think Hayfield will though.
I think so too. I'm just trying to think of what other checks we haven't done. Something like digging game is still there. Stumpy.
Yep, the South Dark Overworld loop is still a thing. Hype Cave is still a thing.
Some hype for Hype Cave?
Oh, they both need the flippers for Swamp Palace as well.
Oh, yep. That would definitely be required. So that's still at least 4 items they're looking for. 50 minutes into the seed, they're still looking for at least 4 items. It's a little long for a casual boots race.
Mm-hmm. And the good news is they won't need to come back to Thieves Town because the small key is locked in the big chest.
Well, that's a business. Zero on script so far. So Blind has a... Oop, not anymore. Blind has a fixed pattern the first time you fight him every single time. So if you know exactly where to stand and where to swing, you will get a perfect fight very quick. But Zero's still doing a good job.
Ooh. Finds the flippers on Blind.
That's... This particular seed has been very rude to our runners.
Well, that actually works out pretty conveniently for zeronicks because now they have now Nick has everything that's needed for Swamp Palace, and we'll be able to check that along the way.
Hammer.
Oh, you're right. We'll be able to check one chest in Swamp Palace along the way.
We're looking for so many items still. It's hard to keep track of exactly what they're looking for. Because they keep getting these items where it gives them half access to a dungeon and not completable. Zero picking up the full heart from the dig game. I think that heart might be a little dirty. Should probably clean it off before he uses it. So getting a cave 45 check. Nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have mitts, they're unable to do the whole blacksmith chain, so that's going to kind of isolate it over here. If it has something important, we may not see it for a while.
Yeah, and nobly making... Well, we just found the hammer.
Okay, now they can do swamp.
Yep. I was about to say, hammer cannot be in Swamp Palace given the layout of the keys in Thieves Town is a very good point. But now we have even more evidence that hammer is not in Swamp Palace. So, I think the way that this is progressing, Hayfield is likely to make the exact same play that Zero is, following the Dark World Overworld path down, in which case they'll also get the hammer and most likely also go into Swamp Palace shortly after this.
Yeah, Hayfield doing that pod play has put them a little bit behind so far. They've done
with
more checks, but we'll see what happens.
With so many items open though, early pod is definitely a reasonable play to make. But this does advantage zeronicks in the other way that en route to pod, zeronicks can check the green pendant, and also now having found the hammer, zeronicks can complete the boss and get that additional item check should it come down to that. That being said, I think at this point it's much more likely that there will be some progression in Swamp Palace. Yeah.
I agree with you. It was a it was a good play, and if something wasn't pot, it would have given Hayfield a huge advantage at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting our swamp check here, as you said, Hayfield looks like he's going to be doing the exact same thing that Zero did. The seed has provided us a few opportunities for some divergence, but after the runners slightly diverge, they just do the other check and get right back on the same path.
Yep, the main divergences that these runners did was doing Hera and Eastern in opposite orders, as well as Hayfield has progressed in Palace of Darkness, and Zero has not been out that way yet. But both of them did Catfish, both of them did Skull Woods. And doing all those checks seems to have put both of them on a relatively linear path right now.
Well, with the fact that they can only complete one crystal dungeon and they're near it now, they're both definitely going to be completing this first and then trying to figure out where they go next. If there's something in Swamp that gives Zero another crystal dungeon to complete, we may not see pod from him. I'm not really sure where else an item could be other than in Swamp right
now. Magic Bat.
Oh.
And Spike Cave is also open.
No, those are two pleasant locations for runners right now. They are here, absolutely nothing else.
Yeah. And I agree, like, Magic Bat and Spike Cave are relatively isolated locations at this point, so probably not on the forefront of these runners' minds.
No, definitely not. I don't think they want to go to there. And then you have that decision that you have to make. You finish this, those are the on Hayfield's side at least, because actually, or do you go all the way through pod for those last two items, or last item?
I think if you're Hayfield, you do those checks before going back into pod, but having obtained the green pendant now does make pod slightly more appealing.
That's the other one, it could be green pendant. Green pendant doubly required, with blind giving us the flippers and green pendant giving us something like mitts. That's... See, because Zero hasn't done pod, if there's nothing in Swamp, I'm pretty sure that Zero's going to head over to pod.
Right. However, it looks like the Titan's mitts are in Swamp Palace.
Yep, never mind.
Okay.
Zero's going to ice.
Yeah, that's the next crystal dungeon on the list. The Swamp... Alright, so finding the Titan's mitts opens up a lot of opportunities for divergence again. Because now Smith Chain is open and they haven't done Magic Bat check. Now Ice Palace is open and that's the next crystal dungeon in succession. Now the Mire Shed area is open and that's 3 relatively quick checks, plus you get to see which medallion is required to open Mire, which is a crystal dungeon. And now Dark Death Mountain is open with 6 checks, plus you get to see which medallion is required for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, just a quick note here, Hayfield is doing the diver down strat, where Zero did not do either.
Yep, that'll save Hayfield a bit of time. Gets the bomb diver down very nicely.
Oh, and got the bomb timing too. For the crystal pegs. Yeah, I think Ice Palace is the play here. You know it's there. You know it's. They just got fighter or temperate sword. You know it's completable as long as you know the Ice Palace bomb jump, because they don't have Canis Maria yet to do Icebreaker. They do have the items to complete the game or the dungeon normally, but that will take a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the discovery of Icebreaker also introduces like that interesting gamut of, do you wait to find the red cane just to make Ice Palace a bit quicker?
I think as long as you know the bomb jump, in this case, it's going to be it'll be a good play to go in and just do it.
Mm-hmm. And also Desert is on the table as well, which makes the Mire Shed area a bit more appealing.
We also know that
that's a
there's
good point
on Desert Ledge. So yeah, go over there and do that. Do the Mire Shed area, get your additional bow, clean up the crystal at Desert, and then decide where to go from there.
Hayfield going for the diver down again. Gets the setup.
Another strat.
And got it.
Could be possible that Zero just knows the Canis Maria one instead of the bomb one. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one problem with some of these glitches where you need a specific item. What do you do if you get to that location and don't have it?
Mm-hmm. Alright, Zero is fluting out for Mire Shed. Bombos medallion.
Well, once again, we need 2 items to complete that dungeon. This game loving giving these runners 2 items to get into places. If they find bombos before they go into Ice Palace, they can also give an extra weapon against bolster.
That's true.
That way they can save some fire rod shots for the boss.
Yep. Nobly with a very Noble Fox's Hayfield with a very nice kill on Argus there.
Yeah, Zero doing that play. Going into Desert. Makes a lot of sense. Having silvers for the Vitreous fight will be a lot better.
Yeah, I think all the runners at this point in the tournament know the Ice Palace bomb jump.
The thing about it is that some of the newer players to the game may have learned Icebreaker first.
That's true.
Right, and if they're used to it, they may not have gone out of their way to learn the Ice Palace bomb jump quite yet.
And despite all the options for route diversions available, both of them are indeed going the Mire Desert play, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it was a bottle on the ledges. For some reason, I thought it was a bow on Desert Ledge. Well, it still means no silvers, but it is still a good dungeon to get out of the way. It is a fast dungeon, and something like if you find the Canis Maria in here, it can help with Ice Palace.
Alright, so the question is, now that you've done this, where do you go? If you're these runners.
I would say Ice Palace. Assuming they do the bomb jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completable dungeon that isn't too bad to do. And then we're just looking for that cane and that bombos.
Yep, and that's really it.
Hey, it's not a rod hunt today. Always nice to have a different item to look for. Speaking of the rod, Zero using the fire rod against Lanmo and finishing up that boss fight. Getting butter. Gold sword.
Wow. So we're now on 14 or 15 hearts, red mail, and butter sword. This seed's looking pretty nice in terms of safeties.
Oh yeah, this seed's been great on giving the runners the armor and weapons they need. Just not very nice about where to put the rest of their required items.
4 bottles, magic powder. No half magic, but
They got the early cape too.
yep.
Unfortunately, that's what put them into Aga. But
Yeah.
and Zero doing the Ice Palace play. I think it makes
Yep.
sense.
Checking those crystal dungeons.
Yeah, it's a strategy a lot of the runners will use. If I can finish a crystal dungeon, I will go do that. It makes sure that you're not wasting too much time making some of these checks, because you're going to have to go through the dungeon anyways. It is a little bit faster if you're in go mode, but not particularly in a lot of the cases.
Yeah. Hayfield going to turn in that green pendant. We'll see if this ends up being one of the 2 items that we're looking for. The advantage of it being both... Unfortunately, it does not. The advantage of it being both items that are required for Misery Mire specifically is that if the Cane of Samaria is found before the Bombos medallion, then they can rule out doing Misery Mire as the place that they need to go.
Yeah. And that will allow them to go mode the dungeon once they find the big key. So here goes Zero. Into the Ice Palace bomb jump. Not a trick we see all too often anymore.
Yeah. Hayfield is waiting on Ice Palace for now, opting instead to do these overworld checks. Possibly looking for Kane first.
Zero's having
Having a bit of trouble here.
Also, we have to remember that because of the icebreaker, the runners don't necessarily do that glitch all that often anymore as well. Hey, we found the ice rod.
Well, we found the ice rod.
I don't think he's happy to see that.
Well, we don't need Turtle Rock yet, not until we find the cane. If we do find the cane,
Oh,
and it's Ether Medallion required for Turtle Rock, then it could be a bit hairy.
yeah, you mentioned if they find the cane first, they can rule out Mire, but if they find the cane first, they may have to add in Turtle Rock.
Yep.
I feel like that's worse.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's worse.
I'd rather find the Bombos and know that I can go through there.
We also don't know what the medallion for Turtle Rock is. There's still a chance that it could be Quake.
That's true too. Ooh,
If you're giving us that magic bat check.
that could be bad too if the Bombos is in there and it's Quake locked.
Oh man, he'll be on a quest for all the medallions at that point.
I'm gonna have an almost full inventory.
Instead of it being fetch quests leading to other fetch quests, it's medallion fetch quests lead to medallion fetch quests. Alright, what's in the lunchbox? Lunch money, got it.
Oh, half magic on Zero's side.
This game is pretty nice with the safeties.
Yeah, I think that's the last safety that they're gonna forget, Hayfield does have Cane of Burn already.
And Hayfield goes into Ice Palace as well, having done some of those overworld locations first.
Yeah, making some additional checks, seeing if anything came up. That Samaria would have been really nice if it was in one of those locations.
Yeah.
Bombos itself could have helped as well, just to unfreeze golds there.
So, if you're zeronicks, I think that the temptation to go into Palace of Darkness would be pretty high after this.
I definitely agree. There's a lot of items in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of times we see Pendant Pod having something good seems abnormally high.
Mm-hmm. At this point, given what we've seen on Hayfield's side, it looks like the play is most likely going to be going up the mountain instead.
Actually, with the half magic, this is quite good. They don't need to use their whole magic bar to unfreeze golds there.
Yeah, very quick fight on Cold Stare on zeronicks side.
Yes.
Hayfield going for that bomb jump now. Also having a little bit of trouble with it, but...
That trick is a little finicky, which is why a lot of runners don't like doing it in the first place.
Yep, still gets it pretty quickly.
Oh, so we had a cane on Cold Stare. That's...
Oh shoot, I looked over at the wrong moment.
I did too. Thank you to chat for helping us when we both went over to look at Hayfield's bomb jump. But with Cane on Cold Stare, that means, yep. Oh, so now you start thinking, well, what if it's in Turtle Rock?
It does make going up Death Mountain a little bit more appealing now.
Zero still hadn't checked Hobo.
Oh, I had missed that.
That's interesting. So we still have some actually overworld checks up there too that we hadn't discussed. There's still the Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, the 6 items that are in Dark Death Mountain, plus potentially being able to get into Turtle Rock, plus Bite Cave.
Yeah,
Which
it looks like... I don't think I've seen someone get in the stairs like that before. Yeah, I think going up the mountain is going to be an enticing play as well, especially for Hayfield, who's already gone into Pod and knows that that wasn't anything.
Right. Plus, Hayfield has the Ice Rod already.
Yeah.
And, of course, there is a chance that Turtle Rock is closed to both of them, in which case they don't have to worry about it yet.
There's actually one... Wait. Yeah. There's actually one more location for that Bombos that we haven't really talked about. It could be on Pet.
Yep, it could be on Ped. That would require Turtle Rock being not the Bombos.
Yeah, and
They don't have the book yet.
Baker have it available. Yeah, Zero gonna finish up the Smith's chain as well.
Yep. And we're seeing Cold Stare fight on Hayfield's side.
Also with the half magic.
Yep.
With full sword, you have fast way.
Yep, absolutely.
Very fast.
Absolutely no problem with that.
Going to get that Kane.
Zero opting to check magic bat first, it looks like. Yeah, probably had forgot about it before picking up that purple chest.
Yeah. That's okay. Still gonna get the check.
And Hayfield is indeed going up the mountain now, so 7 overworld checks plus maybe Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think there's a strong likelihood that it is up here.
Mm-hmm.
So where is Zero going?
Zero had left the purple chest behind. I
Uh,
think is looking for it. No?
yeah.
Lost track of it. Grab that purple chest. Alright, we're getting Super Bunny Cave on Hayfield's side. Got quick swapped. Oh. Hey, there's the Bombos medallion. And an immediate save and quit.
Oh yeah. Well,
So, with that Bombos find, Hayfield has entered go mode at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Shaping to be a really quick seed. And Zero is not going to be far behind heading up the mountain now, so there is still very much a race here.
Yeah, technically they need the silver arrows, but I'm sure neither runner actually requires it. I still think
Yeah.
they'll check a few of those extra chests if they're in the way,
Mhm.
on the way. But Bombos was in Super Bunny Cave. To answer a question in chat.
Yep. Alright. How nice is Go Mode Misery Mire going to be? If the big key is in one of the first 2 chests, this could be extremely fast. If the big key is not there, this could potentially involve going throughout almost the entire dungeon.
Yeah. Who knows where this thing is? This dungeon can be a little tricky with the roading, and when the items are in the bad places. Zero?
Yeah, Zero is opening Turtle Rock.
Well,
Looks to be
it's Quake.
Quake.
Maybe just going into Super Bunny in reverse.
Yeah.
Well, on a positive note, the fact that it's Quake, Zero can't get in there.
Yep.
I don't think
And we
he'd
do
know
have-
we're doing this anyways, but
We do have the Godmire on Hayfield's side.
yeah, I looked away for 1 second and he's already almost at the boss.
Yep. And 1 hour 17 minutes, Zero Nix enters Go Mode as well. So this could potentially come down to Ganon's tower routing.
This is actually interesting, just due to the order and the way they did the checks. Hayfield did some additional checks in pod. Right? Hayfield did the pod checks?
Yep, Hayfield did the pod checks.
For a second, I wanted to make sure Hayfield did those additional pod checks, but managed to find his go mode first. Hayfield showing off the Meyer spooky glitches. Dash strats. What's their features?
Butter Sword with 3 dashes required.
makes it a very fast fight. It almost takes longer to kill the big eye.
Zero running into a little bit of trouble with this first room in Misery Mire. The Wizrobes only stay vulnerable for a limited amount of time, and if you miss one, then it can throw off the entire pattern, unfortunately. But yeah, both runners are executing extremely well. And we have the big key guessing game.
Yeah, so get your guesses in chat. There are 22 places the big key can be in GT. Which chest number do you think we will find the big key? So, Danny, what do you normally have as a guess?
My favorite number is 11. Gotta go with it. But maybe we'll have the number that looks like 11 but in Roman numerals, which is 2.
Could be that too.
What's your guess?
I normally say.
All right. Relatively benign Ganon Sour climbs. We'll see if the seed agrees.
Yeah, 8 or 11 are both decent. Not too deep. Could always be a lot worse. Could be in tile room.
Could always be in tile room.
So if you're still here and you don't have a guess, get your guess in chat. We're going to be closing the game as soon as Hayfield goes into GT.
Zeronicks also making use of the quick dash strat with Cape and Butter Sword. Number 1, small key. Number 2, the bug net. Hayfield opting to go right side first.
Seeing a full right. It'll be interesting to see if there's anything. There's 4 chests in the next room.
Nice kick.
Yeah. Showing off some swag strats.
Alright, the big key is not right side, but Sanctuary Heart is.
So it's not checks 1 through 6. Seven is a compass. We won't be stopping for that.
Dark Magician Room. 8, 9. Here's 10. Here's 11. Not 11.
Oh, there go our guesses.
Yep, we're having a slightly longer than average Ganon Sour.
Yeah, I was just thinking, with everything up, oops, falls into the pit. Ah, that was just a warp to the door. The, with everything else we've seen in the game today, I probably should have guessed a higher number. Because this game has definitely wanted our runners to go on some hunts today.
Alright, that was number 13.
For some reason I hit 12.
Well, there's our book. That was 14 through 17, I believe. We got Bob's chest, the 3 behind the boss, and tile room chest left. Yep, that's right.
So that's 17. Wow.
Zeronicks is going to make up a little bit of ground here because they didn't do right side first, but Hayfield does have an advantage at this point, but still a lot of Ganon's Tower left to do.
Not Bob's chest. We're going to be fighting Ice Armos today.
Everyone's favorite musical.
This is a pretty easy fight in general. It's much better than most of the other bosses down here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Randomizer ones, they can be pretty rough. Do you gotta still make sure that you don't lose too many arrows, though, because you have to beat the red mimics shortly after this. Hayfield is down to 8, which should be plenty to get through the 2 mimic rooms, and there's even a pot in the one of them.
Yeah, the pot is in the second room. So you just... Oh, there was the big key.
Yep,
Is that
there was
21?
the big key. That was 21. The last one before tile room.
Wow.
Alright. Did anyone in chat guess 21?
No, Drossi.
Drossi, the closest with 19. Chat, you're too nice to these runners, thinking that the big key would be found so much earlier.
Yeah.
Unless someone guessed 22. Nope, no one guessed 22.
Nope. The next highest... Oh, no, there was an 18 and a 17. So there were a few people higher. Or in the upper end. But yeah, most of the guesses were towards the bottom side.
Zeronicks is now doing right side. Was this Dark Magician?
I don't know, because I was watching Hayfield
Yeah, me too.
get that count. Some of these runners' teammates in chat saying they didn't want to guess too high for their teammates. That's a nice thing to do. So this climb up the gauntlet is going to be pretty easy with 17 hearts, red mail, gold sword.
Half magic.
Half magic. Yeah, worst case, you can just bombos the rooms away. Hayfield picking up this fairy here, but that will mess up the timing a little bit for these lampposts. For whatever reason, powdering that particular buddy beam speeds up the spawning timer on the bosses here.
The one safety that we don't have yet, I guess, is the silver arrows. Which... they can be with Trinex for all I care. Zeronicks having a little bit of an issue with this room. Not one that you see too often in Rando.
No.
The right side shortcut to Bob's chest and the Ice Armos.
I wonder if Zero went all the way to that last chest and then turned around and went right side. Making
Might have been.
going to be his 21st check as well.
That's the play that you make if it's Randomizer and you really, really don't want to see whatever boss is here.
That's true too.
Though I guess not seeing a boss here is generally preferable to seeing any boss here, even if it is vanilla.
Yeah, one less boss fight. First of all, it just takes a little less time, and any boss on ice is just uncomfortable. Especially if you accidentally get out of kind of this normal fight like Zero right now. But he cleans it up very well. Going to be picking up his big key. Does he go right or left first? He'll go left as well.
Left first. Alright, Hayfield takes a fall to Moldorm, unfortunately, but it's still going to go pretty quick up here. Was checking along the way, hoping to find those silvers.
It could be right here. Probably the last check, last chance.
Ooh.
Doesn't check it.
Invalid.
I'm surprised that he didn't check that. Just because you are still looking for silver arrows.
Yeah. It'll be a slap in the face if Ganon asks you, "Did you find the silvers in my tower?"
Oh, then you got that 50-50 shot of, was it in that chest? It could be in tile room. Oh, he has silvers.
Oh, he got him before Moldorm. Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yep, I must have been
Alright.
looking at Hero probably during the Ice Armos fight.
Makes sense. Man, it's hard to keep up with 2 streams in the morning.
Yeah,
But
no,
okay, that makes a lot of sense why Hayfield didn't check validation chest then.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. You and I seem to be looking at the same stream every time. This is why we really appreciate our trackers, who very much help us out.
And we really appreciate chat for yelling at us.
Yes. Chat letting us know when we miss something is great. I was in the mini Hummer room. So this is going to be a very fast fight. 6 swings on phase 1, 6 swings on phase 2. How many teleports do we see today? Ganon being very kind at the moment. I guess he figures he put the items in awkward enough locations, he doesn't need to give too many teleports to. As I say that.
Maybe he's just tired.
His one true weakness. Ooh, no torch glitch today.
Other than very precise timing in phase 4.
Zero got through Landmo 2 very quickly.
And with that, Hayfield has defeated Ganon. GG!
Yeah, get your GGs in chat. Or Hayfield. So as he crosses the bridge, he finishes with an official race time, the GG time of 1 hour and 32 minutes and 0 seconds. That's
Ooh.
okay.
The even 132. Nice.
Even 132. Yeah. So Zero not checking that chest, also probably because he has silvers, because we're in mini Helma. I assume Zero picked up the silvers in mini Helma room.
Once again, I missed it because we were watching the fight. Oh, Zero says that he sure didn't. Well.
Oops. Well, we'll be showing you both silver and silverless Ganon today then.
The other true weakness.
So Zero will be getting the message, did you find them in my tower?
Always feels bad when that happens.
Especially when you did 21 checks of the bottom. kind of going, so it was either tile room or I walked right past them.
Honestly, this isn't where I thought silvers were going to be. I thought they were going to be in Turtle Rock.
Well, Zero's doing it to put on a show for everybody else. So Zero gonna drop in. So that does actually tie up the series for these two teams.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be going to Game 3.
Yep, and you won't have to wait long for a Game 3 either. That is taking place later today.
So Zero also getting a nice quick Phase 1, Phase 2. Gonna get the pretty simple teleports. Oops. Getting the fire back from the first one. Nothing to really worry about with 17 hearts and red mail. Oh, gets the torch glitch.
Good torch glitch.
Well, that's especially important due to the fact that he's doing the silverless.
Yep, and now we are 12 spins away.
I think he got 2. Oops.
Slightly off timing.
Yep.
Going for that third spin there.
You hit him just at the wrong time, he'll trigger his invulnerability to everything but silver arrows, which is how you're supposed to finish this. But since when do we as runners ever do what the game tells us to do?
And we find out that the bombs were on the pedestal.
Yeah, there really wasn't much of the could have been there. Maybe Quake? Nope, because that was needed for Turtle Rock. Boomerang? That was the only actual item that could have been on Ted. And we saw one of the boomerangs, so it would have had to have been the red one. Yeah, that's definitely not worth it.
Yep.
And Zero is done. Defeating Ganon.
Ganon goes down! GG to zeronicks!
Yeah, get your GGs in chat. And Zero crosses the bridge and completes the game with a race time.gg time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It was a well-played game on both runners. They both played extremely well, executed very well. Just slight roading differences is what.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And these are fantastic times, especially for an Aga seed.
Oh yeah, that fighter sword Aga, that was pleasant.
Hmm.
So we're gonna see if we can get the runners in for an interview.
Yep. And in the meantime, round 3 between these two teams to determine the fate of the Ganon's Tower division will be this afternoon at 2:10 p.m., taking place between Nobly and Radical Sniper, I believe.
Welcome, Hayfield. GG.
GG.
Any thoughts on the seed?
In the beginning, I had a feeling it was an Aga seed pretty early, but there was a lot to do in the light world. So I just have to clear up everything and then do Aga. So I decided to go straight to pod. Since it wasn't pendant, usually I go all around, but this time I didn't want to skip an early pod check. So it was pretty linear seed, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a little bit of route divergence in how the two of you did the light world checks, but once you got into the dark world, the biggest difference was that you, Hayfield, did Palace of Darkness first, and you were basically ended up following zeronicks around the dark overworld for the most part. Once you were actually there, then your routing was in lockstep. Both of you went Skull Woods first, then went Thieves Town, then found everything for Swamp Palace, did Swamp Palace. And it wasn't until after you'd gotten the Titan's Mitts and both did Desert Palace that there were some slight divergences again.
Yeah, so yeah, it felt like the best choice to just do desert and check Maya requirements. So then the best thing would be to dip Ice Palace instantly, but I really wanted to get Sumaria before that. So okay, let's do Smith Chain and then force ourselves into Ice Palace. And Sumaria there, yeah, then I only had the mountain left, I think. And Bombus in Super Bunny Cave. Oh, go mode. So you could actually have skipped Pod and Smith Chain, and that made me a bit nervous.
Zero did skip pod.
Oh.
It just happened that otherwise the routing choices you got to that Bombos a little bit faster.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should probably go around the whole loop before pod, but I decided when I was in Aga, if it is a pendant, I will go straight there, just get it done. But nothing there.
Well, if it had something, it would have put you in a pretty big lead.
Yeah.
Especially considering you were looking for that second glove and the hammer at the time, and given that Palace of Darkness is a pendant, chances you wouldn't need to complete it anyway, and you'd be able to get all but one of the items at worst.
Yeah, since I was actually missing the hammer, it's easier to just dip pod. I don't need to do the boss anyway.
Exactly.
So,
When it got towards the end of the game and it became the hunt for the Bombos medallion on both of your sides, the main difference when it got to that point was that zeronicks went immediately to Ice Palace after Desert, and then did the Smith Chain, whereas you did it in the opposite order. I thought at that point that there would be a chance that Zero would go into pod after having done the Smith Chain stuff and come up empty there, but Zero did follow you up the mountain instead. So it ended up proceeding pretty linearly, despite like what few opportunities for route divergence there were.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I must say, very linear. But you could have skipped pod and Smith Chain, but it felt like a good decision then to do it. But afterwards, you feel, I shouldn't have done that. It's always like that.
Were you nervous about Turtle Rock?
No, actually not, because by then I have done everything down in the overworld and everything. So since I had the ice rod, I felt pretty good because now I can at least complete it. So in case we have a head seed. So yeah, the fact I had the ice rod made the turtle rock dip, an eventual turtle rock dip safer.
Yeah. The medallion for Turtle Rock ended up being the Quake medallion anyway, But
Which was in GT, I think. Was it?
yep, that was in Ganon's Tower.
Mm.
We were talking in the commentary when it came down to needing the red cane and the Bombos medallion. Depending on which one you found, that would potentially open up Mire or Turtle Rock, because since the cane came first, then that could have opened up Turtle Rock had the medallion been one that you already had at that point.
Mm. I had a feeling the Bombos would be in Turtle Rock at that point, because I thought, yeah, Turtle Rock will probably be ether required, and so I was going through my routing then. I should go in Turtle Rock, and the only thing I wouldn't have done by that then would have been a Spike Cave if I dipped Turtle Rock.
Which, and Spike Cave isn't exactly that far away either.
True.
All right.
So I think that's. Do you have any final thoughts?
Not really, but thank you for the restream and commentating. Yeah, it was fun to play race.
So to all the viewers out there are a lot of games today. We have games at 2:10, 5:10, or in Eastern time. There's another one starting in an hour, and then 5:10, 8:10, and then we've got on the Open League. There's also a whole bunch of games. So keep an eye out on the SpeedGaming channels and a link to the past Randomizer League channels for these games.
And this series in particular, this was the equalizer between Amish Paradise and the Noble Foxes, and Game 3 will also be decided today at 2:10 between Radical Sniper and Nobly the Foreign.
So, on behalf of myself and my co-com, thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and we'll hopefully see you at the next race.